Happy New Year. In January each year, I think about what the hot coaching topics are going to be that I'm going to focus on in the year ahead. And this year, there's a key theme that seems to resonate through many of them, that's around planning. And I think one of the reasons why it is so important is that everyone I talk to tells me how busy they are. And one of the things that happens is when we're very busy is we tend to get very focused on the immediate and stop thinking more long term and stop thinking about the planning that's required in order to achieve the future state that we want to reach. And so three of the key topics I'm going to be looking at in the year ahead are strategy and planning, leadership teams, and also succession planning. And the reason why I think these three are particularly interesting, from a strategy and planning perspective, as soon as we become very focused on the immediate and stop thinking about the big picture and the longer term, we start to fail to keep a focus on what we want to achieve, where we want to get to, and potentially give competitive advantage to those other competitors who are doing a better job of it than we are. And so I'm going to be exploring why it's important to keep a focus on the long term and to consider your strategic options and how to turn those into some form of concrete plan to achieve them. Leadership teams and exploring leadership team development is also a key element. As we become more hybrid, we spend less time with each other, and potentially we risk losing touch with each other and not knowing each other as well as we used to do. We become far more tactical and perhaps lose some of the softer niceties, if you like, in our relationships, which are so important in terms of relying on each other. So I want to look at leadership teams and particularly leadership team offsites and how we can develop some of the softer skills and team development, team building activities that are so important in terms of successful delivery. And finally, succession planning. So succession planning is another key element of making sure that we have good bench strength and that people are ready to take over from us as and when the need arises. And it's more than just identifying who those people are who potentially are our successors, but it's also about identifying what are their development gaps and what are their training needs, if you like, or their opportunities that we need to provide for them in order to make sure that when we give them the opportunity to step up, they're well placed to do so. So they're just a taster of three of the topics that I'm going to be exploring in the year ahead, and I hope you can understand that planning element that runs through them. I would ask you to reflect on how well you're doing the big picture thinking still at the moment, how much of the immediacy is distracting you from it, and whether you need to do something in order to step back and get more of that helicopter view as to what's happening and where you're going. As always, if any of this has been of interest or pose any questions for you, then please get in touch and I'd be delighted to talk to you.